All right, hello everyone. So today's Friday, the 15th, right? Yeah. Okay, so we've got new moon today. We're going to be a bit careful today because New York closing has got some dodgy stuff. So that could really make the market move. So New York session is going to be exciting from the start and pushing towards the closing. So let's take a look at gold. Now this is gold. All right, so these are the Astra hours for today. I've already put them in there. With gold, that was an Astra hour. This was an Astra hour. If you sold down, okay, that would have been okay. It went down to 1900, and then as you can see, that spike came back in until the evening closure there. Now on the daily, remember this was a level. Okay, so we had this level and we had that level. So those got broken out, which means we're going for a good buy kiss up here. So don't rush into it, trying to trade against it. What you should be doing now is trying to go with the flow into probably 1941 or on the daily. Let's take a look at those targets on the daily. Okay, here we are, 1925. That's going to be too far out there. So now what? So now, so now, 1934, 35. Okay, so first stop 1925, then 34 to 41. Okay, so 25, well, 34 we already marked in, and 41 there. All right, so there you go. Those levels already in there. If the market comes back into an Astra hour, not a bad idea. This is not a bad place to also expect a pullback. Okay, this zone here, that could also be the case. Until 10:45, I'm expecting some sudden moves in the market. Um, yeah, and then that should take us towards lunchtime, 1:30 there. And then we've got, New York session happening. All right. So what you want to do around here is I suggest wait. Okay. If the market does come back down, you can go long here, you can go long here at the daily pivot as well and follow it upwards. If we end up somewhere at the top like this on the weekly, this 1941 is not a bad spot, or the weekly pivot is 1925, 1912. The weekly is 1926, but remember we've got 1925 there as well. So if we get up to the weekly pivot at an Astra hour, this will be a sell level. Coming down to go up, there's an option. Okay, so you can come down in order to push up, that's for sure. Okay, and that's all good. Basically, that's it. Yeah. Euro SP 500. SP 500 also. Yesterday we had 4,500. That was done there. Now with the indices, that we had two options on whenever it goes up, we're sellers. All right. So at decent places, we want to be selling. Okay. And especially I said September, we could also see like a double top in order to sell because that's where things might be starting off. Okay. So September is that. And new moon is going to be that as well. All right. So Monday might be a good opportunity from the highs to look at selling. Okay, so you might want to let it go on Monday. You might want to let it go till next week, which is fine. All right. Now these levels are all resistance levels, so the market's probably going to do something. Okay, we might go and end up here again, this white line. Remember where they sold off. Okay, and the first resistance is also on the price is 4,513, which the market is done there. But looks like this is a breakout, so we should break above that. Okay, and that's fine. If it does go up, it's going to come back. Okay, so not to worry. We just need to look for a place to sell things off, and that could be pretty much just above that too. So let the market come up. Those levels are 62, 64, looking at 4,545, 4,531. We had that there. I'm going to leave that there. 35 is here. 41 is going to be here. So this is a target zone. All right, so the market going up into there, it's not a bad idea at all. So if we do pull back, going up there is okay. Okay. Why am I keeping 4,554? Because if you come here, 4,554 should be that, and that should take out the stops, and it's right at the top of the channel. Okay, so that's that there. All right, so we should have a bit of room to still push up and then sell off. Actually, if it goes up further without any retracement today, it's better for us. Okay, it's really better for us. And then we can, next week, we can actually do that sell-off as well. And that's basically it. If I was to also do this, this would also be a sell zone, I guess, for us. Okay, so we've got a bit of room to go up. Don't rush into it. Okay, and that's it today. Like I said, we're going to be pushy towards the end. So today might be a nice, day for a trade, but I'd be careful because we've got some dodgy planets doing dodgy stuff, especially towards the closing. Right, so the market might be like really pushy towards the closing. Okay. Euro dollar. Now with the euro dollar, remember, we were waiting to go up to sell. It didn't happen. And I also said this is going to break at the end of the day. And it's nice to see it right on the Mercury line there. Okay. So market nicely broke down here. Okay. Now these are the astrals for yesterday. So the market sold off. We had that 0750 if you recall. So 0750 was a place where the market was resisting. And that's the Astro hour there, as you can see, and the market just flops all the way down. Okay. And we had those targets down here, so just barely above it. We should still, after this break down, okay, this is a good level because this is now a planetary square. Look, this is the trend line, right? So as you can see, there are no trend line. It's not a regular trend line like everything else. It's just out in space. Okay, this is also out in space. So market picking up from here, okay, is is logical. Okay, but if it goes up, it should still come down a little bit. Okay, we should still see euro dollar down here on the Venus line. Okay, that's your Venus there. Okay, what to do with this? If it does go up to 39, which is 1.0696, if it's an Astro hour, here 1.0696. If it's an Astro hour, it's sellable, but you need to be careful here, obviously, because of this big gap. So the market should cover this gap. Let's see if there's anything else we can do here. And that's the HCL 1.0633, and the lowest it did was 1.06. Oh, it did that anyway. On the weekly, look, we had 1.0633 there. 1.0633. If you're using your ATAM, you would have had that on the weekly. Okay, there you go. And that's where the market bounced off. And you can see that bounce off happens right before the Astro hours. And from there, it doesn't go any lower. Okay, that's yesterday, 22.15, 23.30, and that's fine. Okay, beautiful location there. So that should go up a little bit more. That's your daily pivot. We should probably cover this as well. We should probably like go up at least until here. So the market may come back and go above this 1.07 a little bit to cover the gap here, or they'll probably sell off around here again because this is where the sell-off happened. Okay, so just be mindful that's the location. This is the first spot, which is the daily pivot, and that's where the market should initially pause as we get into the first Astro hour to the day, which is 9:47, which is going to be around now because it's 9:45, as you can see here. Okay. Okay, so that's that. So what to do with the euro dollar? Well, if it goes up, we're sellers again. Okay, yesterday if you sold at Astro hours, it would have been okay. As you can see, it's a big crash down all the way into that weekly target. So now we should push up a little bit at least to cover those gaps in the market. And this is going to be your first pause. If it does come back into an Astro hour, do you want to buy? Not a bad idea. It's not at a bad spot. That's the Mercury line there, as you can see. This is the spot also where the market jumped up. It might go down a little bit further, okay, into this zone, but this is legitimate. As at here, this zone is a buy zone. So from the lowest here, you can always go. And now we can get rid of this because this has been done. It's been breached. This is now going to be a goodbye kiss zone. So I'm going to get rid of that. And we're going to get rid of this. Okay, because now if we come up, we'll look to sell off. Okay, so that 1.07 10.25 on the price is also okay to push down. All right. Where you want to buy if it comes back down is going to be on the opening, okay, or the low of Asia. All right, come down here in order to go up if it's an Astro hour. Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Bitcoin. Let's take a look. Right, as you know, I don't work on Fridays, so I won't be following it up. But just make sure you're following up the New York session because it's going to be hectic, I think, towards the closure. Okay, so we might get some really choppy moves. Market may be choppy. It'll also, I think, it's also going to give us sudden moves as well. But like tonight, like we should end up somewhere at a target, which might make Monday or next week sometimes like really sell at tops or whatever. So we might have some like good targets to go to for reversals for next week, which is fine. Also check out your swing days, right, every day, because you need to mark them down. Okay. And for example, Friday is a swing day for the euro dollar. All right. And as you can see, we're right at the lows there. Let's take a look. Now, this is Bitcoin, so we need to get to Dow Jones. Wow, look at Dow Jones. And look at all those targets that we talked about. Okay, why? Because I said if it breaks the PST, you don't want to be standing in front of it. Okay, so once it breaks PST levels on the weekly, do you know what I mean? This is like, even if a person's going short, you see what you don't see is PST levels in the market because this is a really special indicator. And on the daily, what you got is just a beautiful breakout going all the way up. So on the weekly, like I said for NASDAQ as well, remember I said in the beginning of the week for NASDAQ, I said, you know what, guys, this is the weekly, and weekly breakout, you don't want to be selling against that. You just don't want to do that. Okay. In fact, I said if it comes back into an Astro hour, we might think about buying it as well. And That's what happened. The market just shot up, as you can see. And this is yesterday. And if I bring this there, that's 4:30. Okay. And yesterday we had what? We had this one. We had 3:30 there. Okay, so 3:30 was there. Okay, you can see it did the same thing as the other day. Swept everything, comes back, touches the weekly pivot, and then just shoots off again. So it was a bit dodgy. Okay, but you can see this was a level which was resistance. So if you sold here, you should have been okay. At least down to the daily opening, you would have like covered that trade. Okay. Also, seeing these gaps at the below, you understand where the market can go. Also today, you see if it keeps going up without coming back next week, we want to be selling because it should come down to cover all the gaps. Right. So let's open this up a little bit. And then it just went all the way up, as you can see, into that closure. Okay, that's 10 o'clock, so we had 10:20, which is there, all the way into that target there. So that was like a targeting. That was like targeting right there. 10:20 to 23:30, which is up here. So that like went all the way into that target. So knowing this as well, it allows you to kind of like get in on the pullbacks. Once the market breaks out, pullback goes into the astrological target. So what to do? Let's see if we're at the targets. Now remember, I talked about this blue zone, so no surprises there. The first level for today is that LCL1, 15,537. 15,537, which is pretty much done, I guess. All right, so it's there. On the weekly, you can still go up. On the daily, that's your first target there. So as you can see, this is like a zone we were expecting in the first place. So market coming into this zone is good. Do I want to be looking to sell here? Obviously not on a Friday, okay? So we'll want to see what's going on Monday, but the market should pull back, okay? If it comes back for a good buy kiss during the day, that's 15,428. 15,428 is down here, which is your daily pivot. If they buy, this is going to be the zone where they'll buy at Astro hours. That's the first level. And it might be slightly lower on the price, 15,407 there. Okay, so this zone, if it pulls back into an Astro hour, is a place where the market want to go up there. And your first target is going to be 15,537. So it's already, pretty much done that today, just under it. Okay, it might still touch it because it likes to touch PST levels. So if it comes back without touching at an Astro hour to go up there, not a bad idea, because tonight we should like have tops. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now remember with Bitcoin, I said we've got room to come up to into the Venus. Now we've got room to come down. This is going up to be sold. Okay, but we don't want to be selling at support levels or demand zones. It's not a place to sell. But look at that. That's your Venus line. Nice and easy. Okay. On the weekly as well, we've got a breach. So this level was a resistance in the beginning of the week, 26,542, and that's where they sold, 26,542. This is where they sold twice. Bang, bang. Okay. Now, I did say if it breaks above that, don't stand in front of it. Why? Because it's breaking your weekly PST. You don't want to be standing in front of it. Okay. So what the market might do, go up a little bit. Where to? To cover the gap. Where is that? 26,960. 26,960 is there. which should also take out stops. All right, so this is still a target, okay, and these levels are obviously a target. Where are they a target from? So if I put them there somehow, 27,270, 27,270 is there. $51, that's too far out. The high of the low of that. 28,840. 28,950. Okay, on the monthly it's a bit far out, but this retracement is okay for us actually. 51, 28,950. It's not bad. So if it gets there, it's sellable, but it's just a bit too far out. Let's get rid of this. Okay, that's what you want to focus on. Let's get rid of that, and that 270 there. LCL1, 27,270, and on the weekly, that's 55. It's a bit out there. Okay, we'll cross that bridge if it, if it makes a dash for it. Okay, and that's how it is. So these higher levels also will be a place to sell off. If it gets up into this zone as well, you see these are levels for the market to sell off. So what you can do, you can take this into consideration. Okay, it should tap into the blue. It should tap there on the border or in there somewhere. Okay, it's just like boom, tap it, and then we can think about selling it.